My friends, this is a great time to become a channel member. Every week now I'm posting uncensored videos exclusively for my channel members, along with custom emojis and live streams for members at the Arch-Villain level where you get to talk to me directly. Please consider supporting this channel by clicking the link in the video description and joining us in our fight to save pop culture. And also, check out our Patreon and subscribe star pages for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, including Harvey Cthulhu's insane podcasts, photos of my vast toy collection, and members at the Legionnaire level receive a signed photo, membership card, and certificate signed by me. You'll find the Patreon link in the video description as well. Thanks for watching, my friends, and now, on to the video. My friends, after a string of high-profile box office bombs that has Hollywood freaking out, it seems crystal clear now that the age of remakes, reboots, and sequels is over. Let's look at the hard facts. Reboot, Tron Ares, lost its glowing neon shirt at the box office, bringing in $141.5 million global on a budget of $220 million, racking up a loss of around $132.7 million. The Running Man remake is still in theaters, but early reports are suggesting its box office has dropped by 60 to 75% from its opening weekend, and since it only made a reported $28 million globally, that means it's a bomb and is almost certain to lose money. And as for Predator Badlands, it has suffered a serious 68% box office drop this week from its opening weekend box office, according to estimates, earning only $13 million despite its strong opening of $40 million. Right now it appears to be sitting at $141.9 million worldwide, but given experts believe it needs to hit $262 million to break even, this drop suggests that Predator Badlands may lose money after all. This is kind of a perfect storm in a way, folks, because each of these movies represents a category when you get right down to it. The Running Man is a remake, Tron Ares was clearly a reboot without Tron, and Predator Badlands was a sequel. And at this point, it appears that all of them are likely to be failures or are already failures. So, what message does this send to Hollywood? The same message I've been trying to send for years, folks. It's time to stop making remakes, reboots, and sequels.
Hollywood is kind of stuck in this loop of remaking the same crap over and over again because somehow it feels safer, less risky. And yet, results like these pretty much demonstrate there is no safety in this strategy. In fact, you can lose your ass chasing it.
The numbers don't lie, Harvey Cthulhu. Hollywood has racked up a lot of financial losses by cannibalizing and recycling their own catalogs. There are a number of reasons why these things lose money, in my opinion, and these reasons signal a world of trouble for Tinseltown unless they change course. I can understand the thought process that goes into this strategy of piggybacking off of old proven stories. Back in the day, Disney wisely re-released their animated classics like Snow White and Pinocchio in theaters every 7 years to draw in a brand new crop of children who had never seen those movies. I assume that's why Disney is making a pseudo live-action remake of Moana, despite the original movie only being 9 years old, which completely blows my mind. Talk about a waste of time and money, doing a CGI version of a movie that isn't even a decade old. But I suppose they figure, hey, there's a fresh crop of kids that haven't seen it, we'll suck them in. In a similar way, I suppose that Hollywood thinks, well, there are a number of generations of people out there who never saw The Running Man, so we can go ahead and remake it, and it'll be fresh for them. And yet, The Running Man is clearly a bomb at this point, so what has gone wrong? I suspect what this really means is Hollywood has lost a generation of moviegoers, at least a generation, maybe more. The so-called modern audience that they're chasing doesn't exist because they simply do not respect cinema the way that we do. These people typically have shorter attention spans than we do due to the constant bombardment of social media, short videos, incessant distractions on their smartphones. For these folks to commit to sitting still in a dark room for 2+ hours, that's a tall order. especially given how COVID disrupted the movie-going habits of the entire world, broke people of this addiction, tradition. People used to go to movies all the time, but after a year or so of isolation, watching streaming on their own schedules, on their own couches, suddenly it seems like much more of a burden to get up, go out, deal with the crowds, deal with the cost, the inconvenience of movie-going, to say nothing of the smartphones themselves. Too many people are content to watch movies on their phones, on their laptops. There's a lack of respect, a lack of reverence for filmmaking as an art, for cinema as a language. It's an appalling loss that Hollywood is not acknowledging, and they're ignoring the one thing that could possibly reverse this trend: excellence, originality, brilliance. Creating must-see movies is the only way to reinvigorate movie attendance, and remakes, reboots, and sequels just won't cut it, because the so-called modern audience doesn't give a shit about the brand identification, because they've either seen the original on DVD at some point, or they know nothing about it, so there's no brand familiarity to play on. And people like us, who care about movies, are sick and tired of inferior remakes of classic movies we've seen dozens of times. This seemingly safe strategy of just remaking, rebooting, and weaving new sequels is actually destroying Hollywood bit by mediocre bit. Let's just look at a few instances, shall we? I'm going to skip movies that were released during COVID, remakes like the live-action Mulan that lost about $141 million, because those were special circumstances, and we can't really draw any conclusions from their performance. In 2021, Space Jam: A New Legacy, a sequel, lost an estimated $111 million, and reboot remake The Matrix Resurrections lost an estimated $130 million, but all of these movies were impacted by COVID. Let's jump to a few high-profile box office bombs starting in 2022. Folks, who could forget Lightyear, the spin-off prequel in the Toy Story franchise that really had nothing much to do with Toy Story? It had a budget reportedly of around $200 million. It brought in $226.4 million, but of course it needed a lot more, and so it wound up losing $106 to $122 million by some estimates. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny in 2023 had a budget around $326 million, and it wound up losing $137 to $143 million by some estimates. The Marvels in 2023 was a spin-off in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It had a budget reportedly of around $270 million, and it wound up losing $199 to $237 million at the box office. The Flash in the DC Universe had a budget of around $200 million, and it sank, losing an estimated $155 million. Haunted Mansion in 2023 had a $150 million budget, wound up losing by estimates $117 to $126 million. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, had a budget of $168 million, wound up losing around $119.6 million. Joker 2, Folie à Deux, had a budget of around $200 million, lost around $144 million. Snow Woke and the Seven Welfare Recipients, the live-action remake of the actual Snow White, had a budget around $270 million reportedly, and wound up losing somewhere around $115 million according to estimates. Folks, the lesson seems clear to me. There are no cheat sheets, no stunts, no shortcuts that can save Hollywood as we know it. If show business is going to survive in anything like its heyday form, it's going to need to take some chances on new talent with new stories to tell. It's going to need to limit budgets, focus on excellent scripts by skilled writers, stop scrapbooking, and slowly but surely rebuild the trust of all of us who are sick and tired of the same old shit. Mediocrity just isn't safe anymore. At this point, Hollywood needs to roll up its sleeves and get back to making great movies again. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha